Hi everyone, Catherine Finley with Sovereign Heart Coaching. I wanted to share a bit about some thoughts that have come to me regarding the shift I really believe we're in from this paradigm of scarcity to this paradigm of prosperity. And, this paradigm of scarcity says that there is not enough, that there are not enough resources on the planet for all of us, that we must compete with our neighbors to have the most resources that we can to take care of our own families because, there is scarcity. And in this paradigm of scarcity, there's also this idea of separation of us from nature, and we need to conquer nature to allow us to thrive as humans. And whether that's, trees that we cut down or lithium that we mine for our cell phones, but for us to thrive and have prosperity, we have to conquer nature in some form. I really believe we're shifting into this new paradigm as we see kind of lots of old world stuff, financial institutions and systems, ways of thinking about money start to be questioned, start to collapse. And what I was really aware of when I was walking today is that abundance, or nature is abundance. She knows how to have all of the living beings living in harmony, living in cooperation, thriving. Nature actually, different species support the thriving of the other species. There's this harmony and there's this balance. And the faster that we as humanity realize we are part of this nature rather than we are separate from and have to overcome, the faster we'll be able to shift into knowing our true prosperity, because we are part of nature, knowing our true abundance. And I think a lot of times what prosperity can look like in the old paradigm is, things that seemingly make our life more convenient, that somehow convenience is a part of prosperity. And, I would wager that all conveniences have their costs. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy some of the conveniences. I really appreciate a washer and dryer, for instance. But conveniences have their cost, and they certainly have their costs on the environment. And the lithium mining for our cell phones and our computers and our electric cars, for that matter, in the Congo, and what it's doing to devastate the planet and enslave the Congolese people there, is an example of the costs of this scarcity mentality and of convenience. And if we are to look at nature as our teacher and as part of who we are, we can see how making choices that are in alignment with nature are actually in alignment with true prosperity. And a couple of examples come to mind when I think of this. One is gardening. It might feel inconvenient to grow your own garden rather than go to, say, Whole Foods and buy your food. The convenience of the food at Whole Foods has the cost of all the miles that it was shipped, all of the resources that were put into getting that food to your plate. We now know that actually some of the food that's labeled organic in Whole Foods is from China and is not necessarily organic. There's huge cost to that convenience. Whereas the choice to do our own gardening and have our own hands in the earth may not feel as convenient, but is actually in such higher alignment for our own prosperity, because we get to then eat food from, if we're gardening well, like beautiful regenerative soil with a really complex, wonderful microbiome that then helps repair our own gut. We're also having our hands in the earth, which is anti-inflammatory. Anytime any part of our body is touching the earth, it is so good for our health by, in large part, reducing inflammation, by connecting into that negative field of the earth that our bodies are supposed to be touching, bringing in those negative ions. So it might feel inconvenient, but it is actually much more linked to prosperity, to garden, rather than to go to Whole Foods and spend, however many dollars on your little package of raspberries that's packaged in plastic. Does that make sense? So if we're really shifting, like, this is a big shift, right? We have to let go of a lot of stories about what wealth means, about what abundance means, about what prosperity means, and look at true prosperity. And nature points us to that, right? Nature, when, not tampered by humans in a negative way, like, knows how to thrive. Everyone gets to thrive. And that's the kind of prosperity that I want in my life. That's the kind of prosperous world I want to live in. So thank you for listening. I hope that resonates, and I'll see you soon.